be discussing organisms and their environment. When we talk about these things, you already know, I have a small idea about what it basically means, because we have already discussed ecosystems in your smaller classes. So we'll just go through a short recap of organisms and their environment. So basically when we talk about organisms, these includes the biotic factors, and the environment includes the abiotic factors. The interaction of the biotic with the abiotic leads to the creation of an ecosystem. So generally when we talk about biotic, it includes animals and plants. Abiotic means non-living factors. So basically under this come light, water, wind and soil. So basically this chapter deals with the interaction of biotic and abiotic. So generally what happens is there is always a flow of energy in an ecosystem. So how this basically works is plants have the ability to prepare their own foods, and they are known as autotrophs. How they prepare their own food is with the help of abiotic factors. So the abiotic factors, when we talk about wind or air, these are the parts that provide carbon dioxide and oxygen, water. So basically autotrophs use carbon dioxide, water and light, that is sunlight, to produce food. This food is in turn used by the animals. The animals which feed directly on autotrophs are also generally known as herbivores. In addition to this, animals also depend on other animals itself. So such animals are called carnivores. So the flow of energy from the abiotic and abiotic factors is this particular way. That is, plants are the primary producers, utilizing the abiotic factors like carbon dioxide, water and sunlight to produce food. This food in turn is used by animals, basically classified as herbivores. Herbivores in turn also provide the flow of energy to other animals in the form of carnivorous animals feeding on herbivores. So your animals, whether your herbivores and carnivores, are generally known as consumers. So this flow of energy leads to creation of a food chain. So to give a small example, plants, they are fed upon by cows. Cows in turn are fed upon by tigers. So plants becomes the producer, cow consumer, tiger again consumer. Since there are two consumers, the consumer which is directly depending on the plants are known as primary consumer, and the tigers which in turn are depending on the cows are known as secondary consumers. So these things which you have already know. Now again there are many different types of food chains, and when the food chains are all interlinked or intermixed, it leads to creation of a food web. So basically in these chapters what we'll discuss is how your plants and animals cope with the changing environmental conditions. So abiotic, I already told you the different factors of the environment, such as temperature, water, wind and soil. So today let us just concentrate on temperature. You know that the temperature of the environment is constantly changing. It is either very hot or either very cold. So the animals or the plants, they also have to cope with the changing environments. So organisms which are able to maintain a constant body temperature are known as warm-blooded animals. But animals which are not able to cope with the changing environmental animals, the environment is known as cold-blooded. So warm-blooded animals, what they do is they maintain a constant body temperature. Cold-blooded, it is not so constant. So these are the two different types of animals which cope with the changing temperature. In addition to this, there are also certain mechanisms which help the animals change or cope with the changing temperature. One of the most common things which you have already heard about is migration. By migration, what it means is animals move from one place to another in search of food and return back to the original place where the normal conditions are returned. So the most examples are birds migrating from Siberia to the warmer climates of India. So migration is also a way of avoiding the changes in temperature. Another adaptation is also, which you have already heard about, hibernation. Hibernation basically means animals become inactive during the colder climates. Examples, deers. And then there is diapause or estivation. Hibernation basically occurs in the colder months, and estivation is just the opposite of hibernation, it occurs in the warmer months. Diapause is suspension of temporary activity. It is basically common in insects. So these are the three main common methods utilized by animals to cope with the changing environmental conditions. In addition to this, there are also various other adaptations. So basically, if we talk about animals found in the colder climates, you have already noticed that the bodies are covered with fur. They are thick fur. In addition to this, animals found in the colder climates have shorter ears and tails. This is also known as Allen's rule. Allen's rule, what states is that animals found in the colder climates have shorter ears and tails when compared to that of the animals in the warmer climates. In addition to the presence of fur, what happens is presence of fur and presence of fat helps the animal to survive in colder environmental conditions. But not all animals are fur and fat. So basically, animals found in warmer climates, they have huge ears. For example, elephants, which helps to lower the body temperature. So today we just discussed about the interaction of organisms in the environment with respect to temperature. So in the next class we will be continuing with the other factors.